stage is yours.
Thank you.
As Karen conducts the interviews, when necessary with the aid of the De La Vega Professional Translating Service, you will see the actual composite scores the judges are giving each semi-finalist.
Miss Germany.
Let's see how they do.
Andrea Stelzer from Munich is a professional model, and you have just... Hi, Andrea.
Hello.
You've just begun working on a book. What's the book about?
The book is about my career as a model. I started at a very young age, and also about my experiences as a beauty queen. It should make interesting reading, not only for people who are not into the beauty business at all, but also for girls who are into that.
Okay, it's just you and me. What's the juiciest tidbit in it?
Oh, I think a girl must just be natural, and she must use her beauty and her ability to the best that she can.
If they were to make a movie on your book, who would play you?
I think that would be very difficult. I think possibly Cheryl Tiegs, or I'm not sure.
You've been a professional model now for 7 years. What's the one thing you wish someone would have told you when you were first starting out?
I think I wish I would have been told that it was such hard work.
I think that's good realistic advice. Do you think of yourself as a realist or a romantic?
I think I'm probably both. I'm a very romantic person, and I'm also a realist. I like to make sure that I'm very much a realist.
You sound like a well-rounded person. Thank you, Andrea, Miss Germany. Miss Chile, Macarena Mina is 20. She is studying to be a physical therapist at Metropolitan University in her hometown of Santiago. Would you like an interpreter?
Yes.
May we please have an interpreter? Thank you. Do you live on the campus or at home with your family?
¿Tú vives en el campo universitario o en la casa con tus padres?
Yo vivo con mis padres.
I live with my parents.
How long do you think children should live with their parents?
¿Qué tiempo crees tú que los hijos deben de vivir con la familia?
Yo creo que es importante vivir con la familia, por ejemplo, hasta por lo menos los 21 años, 22 años. Y después que uno se vaya a ir solo cuando tenga una cierta independencia económica, ya cuando tenga cómo arreglárselas. Además creo que, ¿por qué dejarlos solos tan luego si también nos necesitan ellos?
I think that one should live with their parents until they're at least 21 or 22 years old, or until they've achieved a certain financial independence. And I mean, why be alone if they need one also?
Very well put. Earlier this month, you talked about your admiration for the great Chilean poet, Gabriela Mistral. What is it about her poetry that touches you?
Anteriormente nos has hablado de la admiración que tienes por la gran poeta chilena, Gabriela Mistral. ¿Qué hay de la poesía de ella que te llega a ti?
Bueno, Gabriela Mistral es una mujer muy conocida en Chile, ganó el Premio Nobel de Literatura y Nacional de Literatura. En sus poemas ella escribe mucho el amor a los niños. Y también, por ejemplo, hay un poema muy lindo que dice: pececitos de niño, azulinos de frío, ¿cómo os ven y no os cubren, Dios mío? Gracias.
Gabriela Mistral is a very well-known poet. She's won national prizes in poetry. She writes a lot about her love for children. She has a very favorite poem during which she talks about this special love for children that she has.
It sounds beautiful. Thank you, Macarena, Miss Chile. Miss Jamaica, Sandra Foster, 19-year-old visual arts student from Kingston. Hello, Sandra.
Hello, Karen.
Sandra, you wish to pursue a career in advertising. What do you think makes a good advertising campaign?
I think that for an advertising campaign, you have to be thorough in that you have to know the product that you're advertising and the type of customer that you want to buy your product.
Let's talk about ethical considerations of advertising. Should people be influenced to buy things they don't necessarily need or can afford?
Well, I think that one of the pleasures in life is having luxuries, so it adds to the pleasures, and I think that advertising helps to encourage us to buy luxuries that make us happy sometimes.
I must say I agree with the luxury part of your answer. Okay, if you were hired to do a campaign for the Miss Universe pageant, what would you do?
I think that the most important thing about that campaign would be to make it something international, to be broadcast in all countries around the world, that every country would be represented by a delegate, and there would be no specific focus on particular countries, and it would just show that the Miss Universe pageant is something that all countries have to come together to do, and that it should be an example for all countries in their type of...
I think you have a good career ahead of you. Thank you, Sandra. Miss Jamaica. Let's welcome Miss Venezuela. Lisa Young. She's 18, a recent high school graduate and model. Hello, Lisa. How about you move up a little bit? Would you like an interpreter, please? May we have an interpreter, please? Lisa, you're over 6 feet tall. When did you realize you were taller than a lot of the boys, and has it ever been a problem?
Lisa, mides más de 6 pies de estatura. ¿Cómo te diste cuenta que ibas a ser tan alta y si alguna vez te ha molestado?
No, nunca me molestó. Pienso que realmente el tamaño no es lo importante en una persona, sino la belleza interior y realmente nunca me ha molestado ni tenía problemas por eso.
No, it has really never bothered me. I do believe that what's important is the internal beauty in a person and not the size. I have never had any problem with that.
I agree. You were born in Sweden, but you grew up in Venezuela. How do you think your life would have been different if you had grown up in Sweden?
Naciste en Suecia, pero te criaste en Venezuela. ¿Cómo tú crees había cambiado tu vida si tú te hubieras criado en Suecia en vez de en Venezuela?
Creo que es una respuesta que no sabría responder porque siempre que he estado en Suecia ha sido de vacaciones y me gusta vacaciones, me parece un país bellísimo de vacaciones, pero creo que me quedo con Venezuela.
I don't believe I have an answer for that because whenever I have been in Sweden, I have only been there on vacations, but it's a very pretty country, but I think I would stay in Venezuela.
The Venezuelan people will be happy with that answer. As one woman speaking to another, what makes you happy and what makes you sad?
Hablando de mujer a mujer, ¿qué te hace feliz y qué te pone triste?
Mira, me pone triste las muchas injusticias que se cometen en todo el mundo y realmente me hace feliz cuando puedes tener una conversación sincera sin tener ningún tipo de rencilla o nada por el estilo.
Look, what makes me sad is the injustices that take place all over the world, and what makes me very happy is to have a conversation without any quarrels.
Thank you, Lisa. Miss Venezuela. Miss Holland. Angela Visar, 22, from Rotterdam. Hi, Angela. You speak Dutch, German, French, Spanish, and luckily for us, English. If you had to describe the Dutch people, how would you characterize them?
Well, the Dutch people, in comparing, for example, to the Mexican people, are a little bit more moderate. It doesn't mean that we're not nice people, but I feel here with the Mexicans such a lot of temperament, and maybe inside the Dutch people have it too, but we kept it a little bit hidden. And if I have to say more about it, I love to live in Holland. We are a very peaceful country. We are very peaceful people, and I've been born and raised there, and I love it.
Okay, of all the other contestants here, who would you say had the most different upbringing other than yourself?
Pardon?
Who had the most different upbringing from you?
Upbringing?
Yeah, who had a different childhood than you?
Well, my childhood was very lucky. I have a great family. I love my parents and my brother. And I think what I noticed about all these girls is that they are very lucky inside. And we discussed about different kind of families they come from. And I would say maybe Miss Nigeria. I had a conversation with her in the bus, and I was really amazed because, for example, she has to be home at 7 o'clock in the evening, and we start the dinner in Holland then, you know. So if you talk about those things, that's completely different. But she is happy in the way she's raised, and I think we all are.
Oh, good, I'm glad. Thank you, Angela. Miss Holland.
Thank you.
interview segment is half over. When we come back, we'll hear from the remaining 5 candidates.
It's very hard to be yourself sometimes. Because Cayman has such a small community, people tend to talk a lot. And they'll say, oh, I saw Caroline doing this, oh, I saw Caroline doing that. And there's always a problem of what you think is right and what you know is right to what other people will think of you is right or wrong.
We'll return after this word.